Tonight, you are not falling asleep in a modern room. There is no electricity humming behind the walls. No distant, not because they are tired in a modern sense, but because darkness has arrived, and darkness rules everything. You lie down, not knowing what the night will bring. Because in this world, sleep is never guaranteed to be peaceful. This is what it felt like to sleep in a medieval town. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts drift back in time. And allow the night to begin. When darkness took control. The medieval town settles into night in a way that feels unfamiliar to modern minds. There is no sudden switch from day to night. No instant silence. Instead, the town exhales slowly. Shops close their wooden shutters with dull thuds. Iron hinges groan softly. Footsteps echo on narrow stone streets, growing fewer with each passing minute. A dog barks once, then again, then falls quiet. You are inside a modest home, built of timber and stone, its walls uneven, its ceiling low. The room is dim, lit only by the weak glow of a single candle or an oil lamp. Shadows stretch and move as the flame flickers, making the walls seem alive. Beds in this time are simple. A wooden frame, perhaps, if the household is fortunate. More often, a straw-filled mattress laid close to the floor. The straw shifts beneath your weight, rustling softly, never quite settling. It carries a faint scent of hay, dust, and the seasons that have passed through it. You lie down fully clothed. People rarely sleep undressed. Clothing offers warmth, but also a sense of readiness. The night is unpredictable. There is no glass in the windows. Only wooden shutters, sometimes a piece of cloth or animal hide stretched across the opening. Cold air seeps in regardless, brushing your face, your hands, your feet. As the candle is blown out, darkness arrives instantly. Not the soft darkness of a bedroom with streetlights outside. This darkness is deep and complete, pressing gently against your closed eyes. At first, your senses sharpen. You hear things you would never notice during the day. The faint scurrying of rats within the walls. The slow drip of water somewhere nearby. The distant cough of a neighbor in another house. The town itself never truly sleeps. It merely becomes quieter, like a creature resting with one eye open. Outside, night watchmen begin their rounds. Their footsteps are steady and slow, deliberate on the stones. Every so often, one calls out the hour, his voice carrying through the narrow streets. All is well. The words are meant to reassure. To remind everyone that someone is awake, standing guard between order and chaos. You try to sleep. But medieval sleep is not like modern sleep. It comes in waves. People expect to wake in the night. They call it the first sleep and the second sleep, separated by hours of quiet wakefulness. Waking in darkness does not cause alarm. It is simply part of life. Your eyes close, and for a time, you drift. Dreams come quickly, shaped by candlelight, church sermons, and daily labor. Dreams of saints and sinners. Of fire and judgment. Of familiar faces and unfamiliar fears. Then, slowly, you wake. The room is still dark. The fire in the hearth has faded to embers. Your breath forms faint clouds in the cold air. You listen. Somewhere in the distance, a door creaks open. A soft murmur of voices follows, then silence again. Perhaps someone has risen to pray. Perhaps to tend the fire. Perhaps simply because sleep has loosened its grip. You are not afraid of waking. But you are aware. Awareness is the natural state of the medieval night. Outside the town walls, forests stretch endlessly, filled with sounds no one fully understands. Wolves. Wind. Branches shifting in the dark. Inside the walls, danger feels closer. Fire is always a threat. One overturned candle could consume entire streets. The smell of smoke is never comforting, even when it means warmth. You turn slightly on the straw mattress. It pokes at your side. Comfort is not expected here. Sleep is functional, not luxurious. Eventually, fatigue pulls you back under. Not deeply. Not completely. Just enough. And the medieval town continues to breathe quietly around you. Sounds, smells, and fears of a medieval night. Sleep loosens its hold on you again, not with urgency, but with a gentle release. Your eyes remain closed, yet your awareness drifts upward, floating somewhere between dreaming and waking. This is where medieval nights truly exist, in the quiet space between rest and vigilance. The first thing you notice is sound. Not loud sounds. Never loud. Soft, layered sounds that seem to rise from the town itself. Wood contracts as the night air cools, producing faint, irregular cracks. A shutter taps lightly against stone in the distance, moved by a slow, wandering breeze. Somewhere nearby, a horse shifts its weight in a stable, leather creaking, hooves scraping gently against packed earth. There is no steady background noise here. No machines. No engines. Each sound arrives alone, then fades, leaving silence behind it like a deep pool of water. Your breathing slows as your mind adjusts to the rhythm of the night. Smell comes next. The medieval night carries many scents, layered and familiar to those who live within it. The fading warmth of a hearth releases the smell of burned wood and ash. Straw and wool give off a dry, earthy scent. From outside, the air brings traces of damp stone, animal waste, and the faint sweetness of distant gardens. These smells are not unpleasant to you. They are simply part of the environment, as constant as the walls around you. Suddenly, a sharper scent drifts in. Smoke. Not the controlled smoke of a hearth, but something thinner, uncertain. Your body reacts before your thoughts do. Muscles tense slightly. Your breathing pauses. Fire is the great fear of medieval towns. Buildings are close together. Roofs are made of wood and thatch. A single spark can turn a street into an inferno before dawn. You listen carefully. No shouting. No bells. No frantic footsteps. The smell fades, likely carried from a distant chimney or a dying fire. Your body relaxes again, slowly, reluctantly. Fear in the medieval night is not dramatic. It is quiet. Constant. A low awareness that never fully disappears. There are other fears too. Illness moves silently in the dark, unseen and poorly understood. A cough heard through the wall could mean nothing, or everything. The night gives too much time to think about such things. There is also the fear of people. Locks exist, but they are simple. Doors are sturdy, yet not impenetrable. The night belongs as much to thieves and desperate souls as it does to sleepers. This is why towns have curfews. Why gates are closed at dusk. Why watchmen walk their slow, deliberate paths through the streets. As if on cue, you hear him. Footsteps. Measured. Unhurried. The sound of boots on stone, growing louder, then softer, then fading away. A metal object shifts with each step, perhaps a spear, perhaps a lantern hook. Then his voice, low and calm, rises into the air. All is well. The words drift through the darkness, entering open windows, sliding beneath doors, settling into rooms like yours. You feel reassured, but not completely safe. Safety is relative here. You shift slightly, pulling your cloak closer around your shoulders. The straw mattress rustles in response, a sound you know well. You find a position that minimizes the sharp edges pressing against you. Your mind drifts again, carried by memory and imagination. You think of the town during daylight. Crowded streets. Market voices. The smell of bread and sweat and animals. Now all of it lies folded into darkness, waiting for morning. Time moves differently at night. Without clocks, hours stretch or shrink depending on wakefulness. You might lie awake for what feels like a long while, only to realize later that little time has passed. Eventually, fatigue returns. Your thoughts become slower, less defined. Sounds blend into one another. The edges of fear soften. As you drift toward your second sleep, another sound reaches you. Church bells. Not loud, not insistent. Just a single, distant toll, marking an hour few are awake to hear. The sound rolls across rooftops, across empty streets, and disappears into the countryside beyond the walls. You let it pass through you. The medieval night does not rush you. It allows you to exist within it, awake or asleep, alert or drifting. And once again, you sink gently downward. Not into deep unconsciousness, but into something quieter. Something older. The town remains awake in its own way. And the night continues. The middle hours and the second sleep. At some point in the night, you wake again. Not suddenly. Not with alarm. Your eyes open slowly into the same darkness, so complete that for a moment it feels as though you are still dreaming. This is the middle of the night, the deepest part, when the town rests most heavily upon itself.
The fire in the hearth is gone now, reduced to cold ash. The air feels sharper. Cooler. Each breath you take seems to move more deliberately, entering and leaving your body with care. This waking is expected. In the medieval world, sleep arrives in two distinct parts, separated by these quiet hours of awareness. No one finds it strange to be awake now. You lie still, listening. The sounds have changed. Earlier, there were footsteps, distant voices, signs of watchful life. Now even those are fewer. The watchman has passed. The streets belong mostly to silence. From far beyond the walls, something howls. It is long and low, carried on the wind. Not close enough to be a threat. Close enough to be remembered. Wolves are part of the world beyond the town. They rarely enter, but their presence is always known. Their voices drift across fields and forests, reminding sleepers that walls are thin protections against the vastness of nature. You shift beneath your cloak. Sleep during this second phase feels different. Lighter. More fragile. Many people use this time. Some whisper prayers in the darkness, counting familiar words with their breath. Others reflect on the day just past or the one yet to come. Some couples speak softly, sharing thoughts never voiced in daylight. Others rise quietly, tending embers, relieving themselves, or checking on animals. You remain still. Your mind wanders slowly, unhurried. You think of the church at the center of town, its stone walls holding centuries of whispered hopes and fears. You think of graves beneath its floor, people who once slept as you do now, waking to the same sounds, breathing the same night air. Time folds inward here. Without light, without movement, the past feels close enough to touch. Your thoughts become heavy. Dreams begin to return, not as images but as sensations. Warmth. Falling. The distant echo of bells. Somewhere nearby, a rooster stirs, confused by the darkness, then settles again.
It is not yet morning. Not even close. The night holds you gently but firmly, like a tide waiting to turn. Eventually, your awareness fades once more. This is the second sleep. Deeper than the first. Still not complete. Your body rests, but part of you remains alert, tuned to the subtle shifts of the world around you. A sound too sharp. A smell out of place. A change in the air. None come. The medieval town continues its quiet vigil. And slowly, imperceptibly, the night begins to loosen its grip. Before dawn, when the town stirs. The night does not end suddenly. It thins. Your second sleep grows lighter, your dreams fading into something more like drifting thoughts than stories. Your body remains still, but awareness begins to return, slowly, as if carried on a gentle current. Before dawn, the medieval town reaches a strange balance, no longer fully asleep, not yet awake. The air changes first. It feels slightly less heavy, slightly less cold. Moisture settles on stone and wood, leaving everything faintly damp. The smell of earth becomes clearer, sharper, as though the ground itself is breathing. Somewhere nearby, a fire is being coaxed back to life. You hear it before you smell it, the soft crackle of kindling, the careful movement of hands stirring embers that never truly went out. A thin ribbon of smoke curls upward, slipping through gaps in the roof and out into the pale darkness. Another sound follows. A door opens quietly. Footsteps move across a small yard or alley. A bucket is lifted, water sloshing gently inside. These sounds are deliberate, restrained. No one wants to wake the entire household. The first people awake are not the powerful or the wealthy. They are those whose work depends on time, bakers, brewers, servants, stable hands. Their days begin long before the sun rises. In the distance, a rooster crows. This time, it is certain. The sound breaks the silence like a thin line of light. Soon another answers. Then another, scattered across the town, each call slightly out of rhythm. You remain lying still, listening. Your body feels heavy but warm beneath your layers of cloth. The straw mattress has molded itself to you during the night, becoming almost comfortable through familiarity. Light has not yet entered the room, but you sense its approach. The darkness is no longer absolute. It softens at the edges, as though retreating. Outside, the watchman completes his final round. His footsteps sound tired now, slower than before. He does not call out the hour. Soon, his role will end, replaced by the noise of daily life. A bell rings. Not loudly. Not urgently. Just once, then again. A signal to those who are listening that morning prayers will soon begin. The sound floats across rooftops and chimneys, settling into the half-waking town. You draw a deeper breath. The fears of the night feel distant now. Fire, thieves, sickness, they recede with the darkness. Daylight does not erase danger, but it makes it visible, manageable. You shift, preparing to rise. There is no alarm clock to pull you from sleep. No schedule imposed by glowing numbers. The town itself wakes you, gently, through sound and light and movement. Soon, the streets will fill again. Shutters will open. Animals will be let out. Voices will rise, overlapping and familiar. But for now, there is this moment. The quiet just before morning fully arrives. You lie still a little longer, holding on to it. The medieval night has passed. And you have slept through it, as countless others once did, not deeply, not without waking, but enough. Enough to begin another day. Waking into the medieval morning. Morning does not rush into the medieval town. It arrives slowly, carefully, as though asking permission to enter. Light slips through the cracks first. A pale, gray-blue glow seeps around the edges of shutters and cloth-covered windows, soft enough that it does not startle you awake. It simply rests in the room, revealing shapes that were only imagined in the dark. The low ceiling. The rough wooden beams. The uneven stone or packed earth floor beneath you. You open your eyes fully now. Your body feels stiff from the night. The straw mattress has supported you, but it has not coddled you. You stretch carefully, mindful of the limited space, of others nearby who may still be resting. The air smells different in daylight. Fresher. Damp. Carrying traces of smoke, bread, animals, and morning dew. Somewhere close, a baby cries, then quiets. A woman murmurs softly, her voice calm and practiced. Life resumes not with noise, but with routine. You sit up. The room feels smaller now that you can see it. There is little here that is unnecessary. Every object has a purpose. A stool. A chest. A jug. A few simple tools hanging on the wall. Sleep has ended, but its traces linger. Dreams fade quickly in this world. There is no time to dwell on them. The day demands attention. Outside, the town awakens fully. Footsteps multiply on the streets. Wooden shutters swing open with familiar creaks. Animals vocalize. Goats bleating, chickens clucking, a horse snorting impatiently. A cart rolls past, wheels groaning against stone. You pull your cloak tighter and stand. The cold floor sends a brief shock through your feet, grounding you completely in the present. Night belongs to memory now. As you step outside, the sky is still pale, the sun not yet fully visible above the rooftops. A thin mist clings to the lower streets, softening edges, quieting sound. Neighbors nod as they pass. Words are few this early. Everyone moves with the same shared understanding, there is much to do. The fears of the night feel distant in daylight, almost unreasonable. Fire is just smoke rising safely from chimneys. Strangers are simply familiar faces in better light. Illness hides, but so does hope. Sleep here is not an escape. It is a pause. A necessary stillness between days of labor and survival. As the sun climbs higher, warmth begins to return to the town. Stone walls release the cold they held overnight. Life accelerates. The night you have just experienced will repeat itself again and again, night after night, year after year. People will sleep. They will wake. They will listen. They will fear and rest and rise again. This is what it felt like to sleep in a medieval town. Not peaceful. Not restless. But human. And now, the day begins. How the night shaped the people. As the day moves forward, the night does not disappear. It stays with the people of the medieval town, shaping the way they walk, work, and think. Sleep here is not something separated from life. It is woven into it, quietly, invisibly. You feel it in your body. Movements are measured, never rushed without reason. Energy is used carefully, because rest is never guaranteed. The memory of waking in darkness lingers, reminding you that every day must be balanced against the coming night. People understand fatigue differently. There is no expectation of constant alertness. No shame in pausing. Short rests are common, a moment to sit, to lean against a wall, to close the eyes while the sun is high. The rhythm of first sleep and second sleep shapes conversations, habits, even beliefs. Stories are told about what happens in the middle hours of the night. Visions. Dreams. Voices heard when the world is quiet enough to listen. Many believe the boundary between worlds is thin during those hours. That spirits move more freely. That prayers spoken in darkness carry greater weight. You pass the church again. In daylight, it feels solid and immovable. But you remember how its bell sounded at night, distant, almost unreal. The same building holds different meanings depending on the hour. Homes, too, feel different now. The corners that held shadows last night are harmless in the sun. The walls that creaked in the cold now stand quietly, warmed by light. And yet, everyone knows that darkness will return. This knowledge creates a shared patience. Arguments are rarely rushed late into the night. Work slows as evening approaches. Candles are precious. Sleep is respected. Children grow up learning the sounds of the night before they learn to read. They know the difference between wind and footsteps. Between a harmless noise and a dangerous one. Old people measure time not by years, but by nights survived.
As the afternoon fades toward evening, you sense the town preparing once more. Shadows lengthen. Voices soften. The day releases its hold. The memory of last night guides the present. Doors will close again. Fires will be banked. Straw mattresses will wait. Sleep will return, imperfect, watchful, human. And when it does, it will feel familiar. Because in a medieval town, night is not an interruption. It is a companion. One that has shaped every life within these walls. And soon, it will shape yours again. When night returns again. Evening settles over the medieval town like a familiar cloak. There is no resistance to it. No surprise. People sense its approach long before the sun disappears. The light changes first, turning warm, then amber, then slowly draining from the streets. You feel the shift in your body. Work winds down naturally. Hands grow slower. Voices lower. The town begins to fold inward, preparing itself for another long night. Shadows stretch across stone walls and narrow alleys. They soften edges, hide details, make the familiar feel slightly uncertain again. Fires are tended carefully. Too large, and they waste precious fuel. Too small, and the cold will creep in before morning. Each household finds its balance, guided by experience rather than instruction. The smell of smoke thickens as more hearths are lit. It drifts upward, collecting above the town before dissolving into the darkening sky. Inside, you prepare for sleep once more. There is no sense of novelty in this. Sleep is not an event. It is a return. You eat simply, slowly, knowing this meal must last through the night. Conversation fades without effort. Words feel unnecessary now. As darkness deepens, candles are lit, briefly. Their flames tremble, casting moving shapes on the walls. Faces appear older in this light, lines softened, expressions gentler. Then, one by one, the candles are extinguished. Darkness reclaims the room instantly. Your body remembers what to do. You lie down. You settle into the straw. You adjust your cloak. The night sounds return, almost unchanged from before. The town breathes. The walls creak. Somewhere, an animal shifts. Fear does not announce itself. It does not shout. It exists quietly, as awareness. But familiarity softens it. You know this night. You have already lived through it once. Sleep approaches, not as an escape, but as a necessary surrender. You allow it to come. And as your breathing slows, you understand something simple and enduring. In the medieval world, every night is both ordinary and uncertain. Every morning is earned. You drift. The town watches. And the cycle continues, steady and unbroken, as it has for generations. The lasting quiet. The night deepens once more, and this time, there is no need to follow it all the way through. Your body knows the pattern now. The waking. The listening. The resting again. Breathing becomes slow and even. Thoughts loosen their grip and drift away, one by one, like embers cooling in the hearth. Around you, the medieval town settles into its oldest rhythm. Walls that have stood for centuries hold the warmth of countless nights. Streets remember the footsteps of those who have passed through them in darkness, half asleep, half aware. Every sound, every silence, has happened before. Sleep here is not deep, not perfect. But it is shared. Shared by families lying close together for warmth. Shared by watchmen pacing slowly beneath the stars. Shared by animals in stables, by monks in prayer, by travelers resting uneasily behind locked gates. You are part of this quiet now. There is no need to stay alert. No need to imagine danger. The night holds you gently, as it has held so many others. Time stretches, then softens.
Hours pass without announcement. And when morning eventually comes, as it always does, it will arrive without drama. Light will return. Life will begin again. But for now, there is only this. The steady breath. The distant, familiar sounds. The calm knowledge that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Let the medieval town fade slowly from your thoughts. Let the walls, the streets, the bells, and the shadows dissolve into quiet. Sleep continues. And you rest. Completely. The quiet rhythm of daily life. Morning fully arrives, and with it, the town begins its familiar rhythm. The streets are no longer empty, they hum softly with activity, though not loud enough to disturb the sense of calm that the night left behind. You step outside and notice the subtle patterns of life. Merchants open their shutters slowly, revealing goods neatly arranged, baskets of bread, jars of preserved fruits, wooden tools, and fabrics dyed in muted colors. A few townspeople greet each other with quiet nods, their movements deliberate, careful, shaped by centuries of habit. Animals stir in the courtyards and stables. Horses shift their weight, shaking off the stiffness of sleep. Chickens cluck as they peck at the ground. Dogs move lazily, stretching and yawning, sensing the gentle pulse of the town. Inside homes, women and men perform their morning chores with soft efficiency. Water is drawn from wells, milk is carried from cows, and fires are rekindled in hearths for cooking. Each movement is rhythmic, almost meditative, a dance shaped by necessity and familiarity. Children begin to emerge, their laughter quiet, playful. They are cautious of the adults around them, learning the patterns of the day while testing their own freedom. Games are simple, a ball of twine, stones, sticks, or shadowed corners for hide and seek. Every sound they make blends into the gentle hum of life, a reminder that the town, while calm, is never truly silent. The medieval town moves in cycles. Morning brings work and quiet conversation. Afternoon brings tasks and errands. Evening will return, slowly, inevitably, to the familiar shadow of night. And through it all, sleep shapes the people here. They rise with the memory of night's second sleep, aware of the fragility of rest, guided by the lessons learned in darkness. They work gently, speak softly, and move deliberately, carrying with them the echoes of hours spent awake in quiet observation. As you watch, the town seems timeless. Every action is familiar, every sound measured. Life flows in a slow, reassuring pattern, one that will eventually fold back into night, preparing the town once more for rest. You feel it, too. The rhythm of the medieval day is comforting, predictable, almost hypnotic. And as the sun climbs higher, you know that night will return again, bringing with it the gentle lessons of sleep and wakefulness, in a cycle that has shaped life for generations. Night falls again and the cycle continues. The sun slowly dips toward the horizon, spilling soft golden light across the medieval town. Shadows lengthen, stretching along cobblestones, timbered houses, and quiet courtyards. The rhythm of the day begins to slow, signaling the approach of another familiar night. People pause in their tasks. Merchants close shutters and cover their goods. Animals are guided back into stables and pens. The hum of daily activity softens, replaced by the subtle sounds of preparation, the scraping of a broom, the creak of a cart, the gentle murmur of families readying themselves for rest. Fires are tended carefully, flames low and steady. Bread for the next morning is wrapped or set aside. Lanterns are lit along main streets, casting muted circles of light against the stone. Everything is measured, deliberate, a quiet anticipation of the darkness to come. You find your place once more in a simple room, familiar from countless nights. The straw mattress waits, slightly uneven but comforting in its constancy. Your cloak and blanket are arranged for warmth. The faint scent of wood smoke and straw fills the air. The medieval town breathes around you. Footsteps of the last watchman echo softly through the streets. The distant tolling of a church bell marks the hour. Shadows stretch along the walls, moving imperceptibly as the light fades. This is the moment of quiet before sleep. It is not dramatic. It is not spectacular. It is ordinary. And yet, it is profound. You close your eyes. You listen. You remember the night before, the first sleep and second sleep, the distant sounds, the faint fears, and the gentle comfort of routine. You allow your breathing to slow, your body to sink into the straw, and your mind to drift. The night stretches long and deep, holding you in a rhythm as old as the town itself. Darkness carries the memory of countless nights, countless sleepers, countless dreams. You are part of it now, one more quiet presence in the long continuum of human rest. And as sleep finally claims you completely, the medieval town continues its silent vigil. Walls, streets, and rooftops embrace the night. Fires burn low. Animals rest. People breathe gently in their beds, some dreaming, some awake, all part of the same enduring cycle. Time softens. The world is calm. And the cycle continues. Night after night, sleep after sleep, guiding the lives of the town with steady, unbroken care. You rest, fully and completely. Immersed in the quiet, the rhythm, and the gentle certainty of life lived in the slow, measured pace of a medieval town.